Yo, people, deluded. I'm back again. Good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well and safe right now. Good afternoon. As I said, if you're over here in the UK, it is, I should know the time. It's 11 past 2. So you've just finished your lunch. You're going on lunch. The kids have finally probably taken a nap, or you're doing what you need to do. If you're like me, I can't lie. I've been up since 3:45, people. Couldn't sleep. So I just got on with my day. I've done a whole lot of, like you've seen, I've been creating the live streams and whatnot in the days to come. So I'd all appreciate it if you are here for my live stream from 4:55. We'll begin streaming Arsenal versus Molde. Please make sure you hit the like button on that as well. You can see the message. And also tomorrow I'll be speaking with Talking Wolves. They're obviously a Wolves fan channel. We'll be previewing the game. Saturday I'll be doing my own preview. So there's a whole host of content. Obviously on Sunday there'll be a watch along, so make sure you're looking at the descriptions, make sure you're hitting the reminders and the rest of it across all the socials, people. It's appreciated. Big up everybody that's tuning in. Please hit the like button on your way in. It does not cost a thing, people. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I haven't put up the simple banner. Where is it? I can't even find it, people. Where is it gone? There it is. We go again, people. Yeah, that. Big up everyone. John Wayne's in the building. Grass is green and John Wayne's in the building. Big up Ems. Big up Ryan. Micah. One love, man. Bells, you're a bit confused as I am. I'm not really confused. In fact, it's better yet. Again, people, I apologize if you're just coming in. I'm going to just head straight into it with this Saliba business, people, and read the headlines. People, make sure you're hitting the like button. Come on, man. Content overload, man. I thought, you know what? Somebody's always hustling harder than me in life. So let me hustle a bit harder. Hustle hard, hustle smart. We've got the 4:55 live stream, Molde versus Arsenal. Make sure you're hitting the like button on that. Make sure you've got your reminders. But things are happening. Now, in relation to Saliba, people, we all know this shouldn't amaze anyone. He needs to go out on loan. If Arteta doesn't rate him right now or think he's off the level right now, he needs to go out on loan. I get that he's inexperienced, but he needs to be put in environments where he's going to immediately learn. I'm like you lot, don't understand how he couldn't play in Europa League, how he couldn't do up the FA Cup to come, how he couldn't, play the League Cup if he isn't ready for the league. I've seen us lose 3-0 against Leicester. I mean, apologies, 3-0 against Villa. Could he have done any worse in that game? He was going to go out on loan. A solution needs to be found. Arteta can talk until he's blue in the face about he's upset he has to leave Saliba out. He has to do this, he has to do that. I'm not saying Arteta doesn't rate Saliba, but there's got to be something you're either seeing in training that's, providing a handbrake so you don't throw him in there. We know apparently there's been personal issues, but I'm just focusing on his ability. It's not a bad thing. If he's not of the level you thought he was, because the way Arteta used to speak about him, and when he was on loan to now, I think the language has changed. So I think he's brought him in and there's been a reluctance to use him for whatever reason, people. There's been a reluctance, and I don't mind Saliba in theory going out on loan. First and foremost, the man needs to go and get game time. He's being starved of it. 23 is where he's been forced to just play and tick over. It's not going to help him. We all know Corona disrupted the French league and whatnot, and it made Saliba have to miss out on X amount of games. He also, because of Arsenal and Saint Etienne's problems, couldn't play in a cup final. Arsenal are in the right for what it's worth in that situation. So for me, he's been robbed of football. He's been robbed of milestones. He's come to Arsenal. He felt it was a new beginning. He was on loan for the rest of the last season and whatnot, and he still never got game time. So, okay, cool. If we don't think he's levels right now, what are we doing with him? What are we going to do to get him to that next level? And that's what I say with these young players in particular. They've all got talent, but it seems like with Arsenal, these men just stagnate in a sense of there's not a plan. Like Reece Nelson, the plan is to give him some confidence, consistent game time, but you see his crossing, it's not consistent. So what are we going to do to bring that player out in him? Joe Willock, what's our specific, where do we see him in this team in the short, medium and long term? 5 years from now, where do we see him? A year from now, where do we see him? How are we going to get him there? How are we going to get Eddie there? Cool, we've taken Saliba. We've said that he's a Rolls Royce. We've said that he's a man for the future. He can be a centre-half, as Raul Sanllehi said, for the next decade. Cool. For me, that means you look after him. You need a clear plan. Cool. He's not levels right now. You don't think he can play in the Prem. You don't know fans can be toxic. People like myself might be banging on for Saliba to play, and then everyone be like, hold on, what's going on here? When he has a clanger. I think he'd hit the ground running. I do think he would have tough moments. I do think he would struggle. He's 19, 20 or so. So cool. I don't mind him going out on loan too, back to Saint Etienne, familiar surroundings, almost unfinished business with them. clarity in your situation, comfortable because he's been at Saint Etienne first and foremost as well. Game time. We need to structure our plan. If he's going to be our centre half for a decade, what are we doing for him? Because it don't look good when you see fans. We're looking on the last day of the last day of the transfer window, and we're just trying to farm him out somewhere. That's very reactive. For me, there needs to be a plan. If you don't think he's levels, find that club within the first week of pre-season or whatever, so he can go as quickly as possible, hit the ground running. We've got loan managers at this club now, so why hasn't somebody known in mind, let's go and find him a suitable club? We've heard Rennes, we've heard Saint Etienne, we've heard Bundesliga. Was Arsenal demands for him in terms of a fee and covering his wages too much? We don't know. I just see a young man that's struggling for game time and has been robbed of game time and been robbed of development, and for me, we have a loan manager. We know full well that he missed a lot of football playing in France as a result of the league being cut off. We know already that he's not going to be levels. So he's going to be starved of however many games he could have played if he stayed at Saint Etienne this year, and however many games he was forced to miss out of last year. You add that together, you're playing catch up. He needs to go somewhere where he's first and foremost able to play, where it's a philosophy that's similar to Arsenal, where he can polish his good and bad game. I don't mind it, people, because I don't mind him. I'm annoyed with how we've treated him, but I don't mind him going out on loan because fans can be very toxic. There's a lot of pressure, and if we don't think he's ready, cool, go and get more game time and come back next pre-season even stronger, even more ready. For me, I would have loved to have seen Gabriel and Saliba as the partnership. I'm well aware that is a very young and naive partnership, so at least for now, David Luiz is that bridge player. But I thought Saliba would get significant game time in the cups, obviously significant game time in the league if something happened. I thought 3 at the back, it would help him as well. Watching Saliba for the 23s, in all of them games, I've seen moments where maybe in the Premier League he would be picked apart. I do think, his positioning needs to improve the greatest. He can be caught flat-footed, but I don't see any reason why he'd be significantly off other people that have been struggling and whatnot with it already, sort of thing. And for me, that's told me that I'm not concerned about Saliba, but just trying to get into Arteta's thinking. You've probably said, what, Gabriel is my guy. He's going to play, and rightly so. I've got David Luiz. I've got Mustafi. There's Chambers, there's Marie, and there's even at a push Socrates, who I don't think's been registered. We can maneuver with these lot for this season rather than you, Saliba. So at least for this season, you've told me that he's not the guy. So I would have liked to have seen him go elsewhere. That's it, my guy, Yam 93. Young players have to play and make mistakes. You have to allow them to fail fast. I don't think Holding and Mavropanos are quite of the level of Saliba. But if you look at it, and I understand, because when I used to see Mavropanos play against Watford away or Crystal Palace at home, shout to him for United away. But them 2 games, he struggled. Holding has struggled. Maybe not so much this year, but generally. So I can understand why, when we've been calling for them to play and saying these things, why there might have been a reluctance to throw them in. But like you said, they have to play. You look at Conde, you look at Fofana, you learn on the job. Fofana's done very well playing for Leicester, and everyone's hyping him up because of how he played against us, rightly so. But, he had a tough game against Liverpool. He was getting twist up, bent up, all of these things. Immediately learning. We starve our centre halves of football, and while I understand why you might not just throw a man in, it does hurt their development. And that's, for me, my guy, okay, as much as I would have, people, I would have liked to have seen him not go on loan to Saint Etienne and just play from the jump, people. But that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing. I don't mind that. That's my impatience as a fan. I just want to know there's a clear pathway. So when he comes back, he's levels. Obviously, when you look at, it's a bit different. But when you look at Chelsea's youngsters, Mount had the 2 years, one at Vitesse, and then he went Derby. That Derby spell, cool. You're coming back to Chelsea now. Do you get it? Tammy once upon a time, Reece James, you're coming back. Kyle Walker a few years ago, he's at Aston Villa. Spurs said, you're coming back. Next season, I want to see Saliba at this club because we've messed around for a season and a half. I want to see him come. For me, I sanctioned the Saint Etienne move. Not that I have any say, purely because it's familiar surroundings. You know what it means to the club. He knows the system. Managers can always change, but they know how it is and whatnot. It does that little bit to mend relations with Arsenal and Saint Etienne because we've been kind of beefing of late. It kind of harmed Saliba because for me, he was robbed of the opportunity to play in a cup final. It was sad, and obviously for fans, you have to question Mark Arteta's man management. I think there's deeper to it, but you have to question it. I do think Arteta's got that thing Pep has in that when they gas a player too much, look between the lines, people. Next time Arteta waxes over lyrical about a player, he's not going to use them, because he does it about Maitland playing in the middle. He does it about Joe. When he gasses it too much and says, it kills me, I've got to leave Saliba and Ozil out, for whatever reason, you don't trust them. Specific to Saliba, there's been something that's made you go, ooh, you know, you've taken a look at him and you've gone, ooh, you know what? So why didn't we move him on? There's a loan manager at this club, so why not a week or two within pre-season we didn't say, boom, he can go back to Saint Etienne, he can go to Rennes, he can go to this team in Germany. You know, there was talk of Brentford and all these championship clubs. He can go there and do it. Let's just get this thing done, innit? It's very reactive, and then we're gonna, you know, I don't think this is gonna happen with Saliba, but typically at Arsenal, there doesn't seem to be a clear plan for our young players. We wait on our hands, we wait 3-4 years, and then we're still saying the same things, like they're talented, but they're not got consistency, or this player hasn't improved his crossing, or this and that, because there's not really anything there, man. You know, and I agree with that. As much as fans cry for Balogun, for Saliba, you can't throw everybody in there. And especially at this moment in time, O'Malley, there's a lot of pressure. But I don't think I think Saliba is an exception to the rule. And as someone commented, the likes of Saliba, they've got to learn on the job. Yeah, if he makes a mistake and costs you points, you have to hold your head. But, you know, would you rather deal with Saliba making mistakes and these young players making mistakes, hoping that they learn from it, or serial offenders? And this isn't me to blame people. You know, Pepe's red card highlights it. David Luiz, if it's not red cards, it's mistakes leading to goal. Leno's made mistakes. Kolasinac has made mistakes. Aubameyang's made mistakes in terms of not scoring, as had Lacazette. You know, these experienced players haven't taken their chance. So why not Saliba? You know, I understand why Saliba's not getting a look in, i.e. he's allegedly not of the level. And, you know, unless David Luiz plays, I think there's a reluctance, you know. Arteta didn't reach these things overnight. You must have known Arsenal's plans to move on the likes of Mustafi and whatnot. I mean, move on Ozil and whatnot, and the money wouldn't be there. So a lot of things were very reactive in the market. For me, like I said, you just need a plan with Saliba. You just need it, because it don't look good. You know, you fought off a whole heap of clubs in the summer, in whatever summer it was, to sign my man, even Spurs. You know, you're still using him to sell your shirts and whatnot. He's on the website promoting things. You know, you've done the whole song and dance with him with the plane and everything. You know, Arteta's spoken of him. You've kind of egged the fans on. You know, Arsenal haven't really done their bit to kind of temper expectations, and there's not been any real clarity in relation to what we're doing. Again, if there's family issues and things affecting it, you have heard he's learning English and it's making him understand a bit more what Arteta wants, then fine. But I think it would do a lot to help fans if you just say, yo, listen, Saliba, I know your fans are impatient, but we don't think he's ready, he's not of the level. If you tell fans that, we might say, oh, but David Luiz and Mustafi and this and that, but fans would have no choice but to get it, people. I like, because that's where Arsenal go wrong. We just need some clarity. You know, you can't blame fans. You're seeing other young centre halves like Fofana, who apparently keeps calling Saliba. You're seeing a whole heap of young players anywhere. And when we've got someone, you know, you call a man a Rolls Royce and all of these things, it don't make sense. And my point about the loan manager, as well as finding clubs for our players to go out on loan, him and his team, you'd imagine, logically, because Arteta can't watch every game, there's a team of scouts or people that are writing reports on every game. So while Saliba's been in France, you know, he played this against Bordeaux. He played this against PSG. Like the little videos I was doing of the scouting reports of Saliba. Obviously not to them, man, theirs level, but sort of thing, you know. And they must have said, yo, okay, cool. He might not be of the level. He might struggle in there. And then it's down to Arteta to reach the rule. So before preseason starts, he already has a conception of how certain players have done on loan, how they are and whatnot. Clearly, it doesn't really mean anything, because Arteta, you look at Eddie and Nketiah, not really a poor loan spell at Leeds, but just at base level, he didn't play a poor loan spell at Leeds. You know, Arteta let him train and he liked it. So you can't read too much into what's happened before the situation. But my point being is, you don't reach these, you don't just wake up the minute you see them, you know, the minute we see it in the papers. It's not because Arsenal just woke up and said, you know what, today Saliba's not my cup of tea, let's get rid of my man or do something for it. Don't work like that. You know, we don't reach these conclusions overnight. There are some hardcore backed evidence sort of thing. You know, if he doesn't believe Saliba is ready, then he doesn't believe he's ready. But like you lot people, I can't personally understand how he can't get game time in any capacity, especially the cup games, people. Like M said, please done know all my members. Thank you very much for all the memberships. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please check out the pinned tweet. A man said pinned tweet. The pinned message, because I'll be back again streaming from 4:55. It's Molde versus Arsenal. I'll also be streaming from 1 p.m. on Friday. previewing the Wolves versus Arsenal game, you know, and I'll also be streaming on Saturday and Sunday, really. So we'll keep going, people. Please check out the communities tab for more information, or the pin tweet. Please go and hit your reminders for the 4:55. Make sure you're liking that, even if you're not going to be there. You liking it makes it get somewhere quicker. I'm on 28,000 subscribers now, people. It means the world. I appreciate every one of you, and that's helped because you lot have taken to me, you lot have gassed up my thing, you lot have supported me, but you've also made sure people can go out there and see it and do things, people. It means a lot, man. And I'm seeing a lot of you in the chat, man. Let me quickly see what you're saying. Like John said, hit the like button, man. It's easy. Big up yourself, Emmanuel. There again, man. You know, we've got Wayne in the building again. You know, what's South London saying? Do you think even if he got game time, he would have gone out on loan because he didn't get a full transitional year? Potentially, because again, game time, you look at our young players, they're starved of game time. Bring in Saliba and include the homegrown talents, game time. Now, I'm not saying Arteta has to throw their man all in, because if he does, like someone said earlier, you know how the script goes. But we need to give them experience. And for me, it's just about the planning. If we don't think he can get game time now, can you find another Prem club for him? Can he stay at Saint Etienne? Can he go to Germany? The Championship wouldn't have been my first option for Saliba, people, but I can understand it because there's plenty of lessons for a young centre-half to learn. You know, he's just, you never get the feeling that he's just in the motions. And of course, it's not exactly that. And of course, Arsenal know better than me. But to us fans, it just looks like we're just messing around. So what does Saliba feel like? He must feel hard done by. You've been talked about as the next this and that. Arsenal, they made a song and dance. You can't buy a game. You can't even be on the bench, people. It's crazy. Big up Kevin. It's not letting me bring up your super chat. I really appreciate that $5, my guy. It means the world. Every little helps. You said, why can Rodgers get a tune out of Fofana and Arteta can't out of Saliba? Both players have the same experience. Saliba is playing for the 23s. Allow it. And the one thing I'll say in Arteta's defense, he has the luxury to not use a man if he doesn't think he's levels. You know, he can use where he wants. We can't compare the two, really. But I agree with you, Kevin. When you look at it, you know, Fofana and Saliba is neck and neck. 1 minute Saliba look better than Fofana. They're both very good centre-halves. And like you're seeing, Fofana's going to learn on the job. He's had some great performances in the Prem. He got killed against Liverpool. But he's going to learn from that and be, again, we need to blood our players in. I can't understand. For me, away from that, my dude, I can't understand when you just look at the level of playing staff, you know, the only two real 30 centre-halves I think we have. Well, the only 30 centre-half is Gabriel. You know, David Luiz has been in good form. I do think he gets a bit of unnecessary hate, but we know the problem with David Luiz. He's always got a mistake there. He's probably got experience over my man. And obviously Mustafi, you know, since Arteta's come, he's been playing all right. And, you know, you can play Xhaka there at a push, and you can play on Nene there at a push. There were probably things that made him think, you know what, I don't even need him for a depth purposes. Like you said, Fancy Truth, learn on the job, man. Learn on the job. Learn on the job. Because when I was watching Saliba in France, there's plenty of lessons. I was watching fans gas it up. It's like he's a 30 centre-half, but he's not of that level. Against Bordeaux, he had a poor game, you know, one time. I think he gave away a penalty. Against PSG, he was good. You know, against Metz, probably the game that stood out for me with Saliba, because Diallo tore him a new one. Faster than him, stronger than him, outthinking him. These things are only going to make you grow, you know. People were just focusing on them highlights where, you know, Saint Etienne are dominating the game and they're playing it. And one reason I think Saliba was going to be a success and it was going to work here, my dude, is because I've seen how he's reacted to resilience. You know, last season, Saint Etienne were firmly in a race to stay in the league, more or less, and he reacted. And you can see the way he carries on with Saint Etienne, with the microphone and whatnot. My point being, he relishes the pressure. He relishes being someone the fans can relate to. And obviously, the pressure at Saint Etienne and at Arsenal are two different things. But I think he'll do that. Look how he reacts in derbies. He's at it, man. You know, like you, man, are saying, learn on the job, man. Learn on the job. I got more time for Saliba and certain other young players than Bearhofer, man. You know, we have him for like 5 years. You know, I don't think he's unhappy. I would be unhappy because you're not playing, but let him go out on loan. Just have a plan for him. We've got him for 5 years. So that's my point, see. Like, we need to have a plan for our investments. You know, where do we see him getting in 18 months? What centre-half is he going to look like in 2 years? What's he going to look like in 3 years? What do we want him to look like in 5 years? We want him to be a France international and someone highly sought after and borderline world-class, top-class centre-half. Am I lying, people? But today he's not that. So it's about what we're doing. And to fans, obviously we're not at London Coley. We ain't spoke to Saliba. We ain't spoke to Arteta. We don't know a damn thing. But it just looks reactive. And when you look at of our young players and what we've tried to do in the market and how we play on the field, the only thing you get with Arsenal is a consistency in being extremely reactive. It don't really make sense, man, you know. And I think he's just going with people he trusts. I think he's just picking experience. I know Arteta talks about young players of the futures, and he was talking a lot about Balogun. And I understand you don't need to throw them all in, but it makes the point. One thing I rate about Saliba is that, you know, temporarily he's ready to get rid of his or earn less in terms of wages just by simply going and playing. You know, that's one thing I like, people. You know, big up Derek. And remember, he said bad man management is one thing, DG, but I just don't understand this. Brother, Derek, me too. And that's where I think the fans deserve a bit of clarity. Like, you know, he's having, not that you have to tell us his business, but he's having some problems at the moment. You know, I like him, but I think his best he goes on loan. Just tell us what it is, and then fans can shut up and deal with it. It's just bare speculation. It's like the Ozil stuff, we don't know. It's like, oh, well, what happened? It's a bit mad. But let's actually go through the paper talk and things like that, people. Apologies. As I'm looking on the Daily Mirror, William Saliba willing to give up 90k a month to leave Arsenal in January. As you know, we signed him in 2019 and sent him back on a season-long loan in expectance that he'd be ready for this season. It hasn't happened, people. We paid 27 million for him. Even more reason why we need to protect our investment. Because for me, you know, we're hearing Arsenal are struggling. Look, we waited all summer to activate that 45 million. We had to beg Kroenke to run them P's for party. You know, we hear we have financial constraints and the rest of it. So 20 odd million, you know, is a costly outlay. So with this, even more reason for having specific plans for him, people. You know, the article went on to say, Mikel Arteta assessed the defender's progress in the summer and decided he's not yet at the level to represent Arsenal in the Premier League. Arteta subsequently left Saliba out of his 25-man squad, meaning the defender has only been able to play in reserve matches. Saliba wants regular first-team football and is itching to leave Arsenal on loan in the January transfer market. And you've even heard his good friend Fofana doesn't call him to ask him, is he playing anymore? Because, you know, it must be hurting a man. Apparently his former club Saint Etienne have already been linked with his signature, but the centre-back's wages are a real problem. As things stand, the Liga outfit are unable to afford Saliba, but French media reports Saliba is so desperate to leave on loan, he's willing to sacrifice as much as 90k a week to make the transfer happen. As you know, Arteta previously hinted that he could leave on loan, and he said, I'm fed up with the situation because, as you could see, we tried to find a way in the last few days to get him some football, and that's reactive. Don't get twisted. I understand Arsenal probably had a million things to do in the market for obvious reasons. You know, we had to try and bring players in, but that's where you have to question the operations of this club. Like I said, we're meant to have a loan manager. This should be his priority, to liaise with Arteta, but do the bulk of the work. You know, we've got an individual analysis guy now that works with the players how to improve. So what is he doing? Okay, you know, the scouts have been scouting him for this season. They've given Arteta the dossier. Arteta's read them. He's looked at the footage and whatnot. Ultimately, he's used his eyes and said he's not levels. So, okay, cool. In tandem with that, why has the loan manager not said, okay, cool, here's the best options I think he could do? You know, he can stay in the Prem, he can go here, he can go there, sort of thing. So this is why I'm a bit concerned, people. And obviously for Arteta, he should have pushed to find the decision, you know, even quicker, because it's reactive. You don't buy someone for 20 odd million, talked of being world class, and saying in the last few days you're trying to find him somewhere. You know, if you was trying all time, then fair play. But this tells me you didn't make your mind up. Potentially Saliba was staying in regards to maybe even senior centre halves leaving and whatnot. It's not good, people. It's not good. Like I said, we've got a loan manager, we've got an individual coach, and we've got Arteta. If Arteta don't think these levels, having read scouting reports from the scouts all season and whatnot, using that analytical approach and using his eyes, and obviously, like I said, we've got, his name's Carlos something. He's an individual coach at this club. You know, he's in charge of, not in charge, but he helps players improve on an individual basis. So what specifically does he need to improve at to get levels at this team? And obviously the loan manager, go and find the club. So for me, I'm looking at 3 men and obviously the broader operations. And I have sympathy for Saliba because he had everyone in Europe over him. He wanted to stay for Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan, you know. He's had some personal issues. The one solace and the one help and the one bit of victory he can get is simply playing football. And he's not doing that. He never spent all these P's to play 23s. Like I said, I'm not saying he has to play week in, week out. If he's not levels, he's not levels. But definitely I shouldn't be here on a live stream talking about this situation, in my opinion, people. Apologies, people. 1 second. Like a donut. I haven't got the charger in, but I'm back, people. So yeah, man, I questioned the loan manager and the management in relation to him. I have to question Arteta's man management and reading the dossiers and whatnot. I have to question Arsenal's ability to collectively micromanage and collaborate when trying to do things, people, like finding a suitable house for our loan players or people that were talking about going out on loan and the rest of it, people. So that's one report. If we go and look at the actual report I saw, courtesy of Google Translate, it's a French report. Apparently, pardon me, as his team skates dangerously in the standings, Arsenal's coach Mikel Arteta is urged by fans to give Saliba a chance. Apparently, it seems written in January when the winter transfer window opens, William Saliba will return on loan to Saint Etienne. The centre half, whom Mikel Arteta does not even invite to professional training, could have returned as early as this summer, but the negotiations between the two teams, which started late, failed for a few hours. Again, this is Google Translate, but I don't know what that means. But Saliba does train with the first team. He's not alienated to the reserves, people. It goes on to talk about Arsenal fans crying for Donny and whatnot. But it more or less says the same thing, people, really and truly, that he's willing. He apparently the Saint Etienne move. In fact, this one went as far as to say his move to Saint Etienne is more or less done. Like, it's done. You know, he's willing to, and it also continued what the Mirror is saying in relation to, obviously, you know, he wants to go out on loan. Wages aren't a thing. He will cut wages and stuff. And for me, it's just about finding a home. Go and get him a home. Go and get him somewhere he can play in January where he can feel confidence. Because you have to wonder the mental effects that simply training and knowing you're not going to play does to a man, regardless of the potential and where Arsenal see you and stuff. Simply training and knowing you're not going to feature, no matter what the fixture is, no matter how people play, because he's no idiot, he's watching Arsenal, you're not going to get a look in. And he might be thinking, you know, he might be saying, yeah, I agree with Arteta, I might not be levels, Arteta might be right, but also he might be thinking, yo, what one? You know, I thought I was coming here, there's Pepe, there's Bamian, there's Laka, you know, I'm an Arsenal fan, there's the French ties, Premier League, I've done my time. It's been disrupted, but I've done my time with Saint Etienne on a loan. I'm now embarking on that new adventure. You know, I thought I was going to be calling up my brother for Fana, bantering him before that game. You know, we're going to score more than you. He's not involved, man. He's not involved. You know, in theory, there's nothing wrong with loaning him out, provided there's a plan. If you've sent him on loan to get football, and it's a thing where he plays two seasons, and all right, cool, he's a bit more experienced, I don't mind that. For me, it's the plan. You know me, I like young players. I want him to get an opportunity, but I just care about the plan. I just care about the plan. And, you know, Gooner game, a lot of people can't really get it. You know, when you look at certain repeat offenders that make mistakes and look dodgy, you can't get it. You know, Arteta's within his rights to have to play who he wants to play and whatnot. But it is what it is, man. It's just a dodgy one. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're sharing it up. Please make sure you're there and you've set your reminders for my next live stream, which is from 4:55 today. Arsenal versus Molde, Molde versus Arsenal. Hit the like button. You know, we've got a stream every day until Sunday. You know, I've actually checked the community tab and hit the likes on all of them and set the reminders on all of them. I'll keep reminding you lot. Check the pin tweet. You know, check the description for more. We've got, like I said, Molde later. Tomorrow we'll be speaking with Talking Wolves in relation to Arsenal versus Wolves. Obviously, after that, you know, Saturday will be my own Arsenal versus Wolves preview. And then we've got the watch along, people. So we'll have to see, man. Make sure you're hitting and supporting the team, man. You know, even if you're not going to be there, just make sure you're liking it and whatnot. And this is what I love to see, man. Big up yourself, the one and only Big Crow. Big up GL. Be here for the watch along. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that, you know. It don't matter, Rion. Just reverse that back, man. All right, moderators, you're going to be moderators for the next live stream, man. Allow me. Big up, Zach, man. Thank you very much, man. It means a lot that you lot got me up to 28,000 subscribers, people. It means a lot. Like, I don't think I've accomplished anything of significance in my life. So, you know, to know that 28,000 people subscribe to me and want to hear what I have to say in relation to football for whatever reason, it warms my heart, people. Like, how big is the Emirates? 50,000 or something. We've got 27, so we're filling up a reasonable place. So big up the DG Nation, man. You lot have made my year, and 30k is the target before the end of the season. So, you know, hopefully I can get that, man. Hopefully I can get that, man. Otis has said, what youngsters are you excited to watch today? Every damn one of them. Balogun, I hope he gets game time. Smith Rowe and Nelson in particular, with what's going on in the Premier League with wingers and creative men not taking their chances. I want to see them too, you know. I would love to see Miguel Aziz, Ben Cottrell get some minutes and whatnot as well and things. So it'd be a great, I feel all of the ones that have been called up have been performing very well, and it'd be nice to see them perform. You know, Holding, I like Holding. He just, yeah, Holding does all right. He goes through patches, but Saliba's way higher. Like, I don't think Saliba's of the level fans are waxing lyrical about, but from what I saw last year, he's a different level to Saliba. I mean, to Rob Holding. Absolute different level. No, We Are Legend is probably onto Arteta. Pepe, Aubameyang, Laka down tools. Ozil, Guendouzi, and Saliba frozen out. This manager hasn't got a clue what he's doing. And, you know, if it was working and we was in form, we could be quiet. But he hasn't got a leg to stand on in that regards. And I hope for our sake, he can prove you wrong in that regards, man. That's it, my guy. And this is one of the best comments, you know. It doesn't, you know, Saliba can recover. He will have a future, and it doesn't mean anything. We just need to get it right, get it spot on, you know. Don't keep doing this mix and match stuff, you know, because Saliba doesn't deserve that. Let's think about this man's development. When he left, he had a bag of European clubs, and as a young centre-half, he probably thought, yo, where am I going to spend my next couple of years to develop significantly, you know? I want this to be his last loan spell, and then it's a learning on the job thing next season, regardless. Is that going to happen? Who knows? Unless it's a thing where he goes somewhere and he's playing very well, and we say, you know what, do it again. But I'd like him to be part of it, man. I want him to go somewhere, get 6 months under his belt, more experience, and then challenge and take over from David Luiz and be part of this back two or back three or whatever Mikel Arteta has to do with him. But what do you guys think, man? Hit me up in the comments. What do you guys think of the Saliba situation? What would you lot have done with him? Is there any of you that would have loaned him out earlier? Is there any of you that would have kept him? You know, is there any other different replies? Big up Mohammed for that as well. You know, Jamie, I'm always doing well. It's nice to see you're also doing well. You see it. Big up Alex as well from down under. Really appreciate the commitment because you guys are several hours ahead of us. Really appreciate that commitment, you know. Big up Zach, you know. Zach's from Bristol. He's saying bring Saliba to Bristol City. You know, I'm sure you would like that. I'm sure you would like that. I don't know about that, but yeah, man. Not really a leg to stand on, you know. This is it. You can't really disagree with what you lot are saying, man. You know, I can't really disagree. Maybe, you know. And that's it, Arsenal Queen. You'd rather see him make mistakes. Rather see him make mistakes. I big up yourself for following me on Twitch. Please make sure you're hitting me up on Twitch. I'm trying to do a new little avenue. There will be content in relation to Football Manager as well coming very soon. Just allow me to pattern up the technology and do the rest of it. You lot wanted me to be on Twitch. I'm there. Please make sure you're checking out the Twitch. I think I'll pull it on my community tab. In fact, let me stop being lazy and go and get you a next link, people, to follow me on. You can hit up this for the Twitch. You scroll all the way down. There you go, man. Up the Twitch, hit up the Twitch. You know, I just want a plan for Saliba. That's all I care about. Alex, thank you very much, man. 2 a.m. here, but anything for my favorite football content. Hey, big up yourself. It means the world. It means the world, man. Make sure you're hitting up the Twitch, people. Hit up the Twitch, man. Trying to get to 2,000 on that, man. Then you can start playing around and really enjoying what Twitch has to offer. So yeah, in relation to the Saliba thing, you know, in relation to the Saliba thing, it is what it is. I'm not the guy who's gonna cry if Saliba goes out on loan. It does frustrate me because I want to see Donny play, but I care about his development, sort of thing. And that's what we need to see. Like, that's what we need to see. And I don't really see a plan for a single player at this club, whether they're young or old. Like, I want to look at even Bukayo Saka. You know, we know he's a winger and we know he's had to do jobs in other positions. But what is our plan for Saka? How do we see him? You know, I just want to know there's a plan for when Saliba is 27, 28, 26. The same for Martinelli and Saka and Nelson. How do we see these players? Because that's what it's about. I think in football, people underestimate players improving and underestimate having a plan, sort of thing. That's why the people always talk about spending and the rest of it, man. You know, Marcus, patting it up, man. That's why you're the moderator of the year, bro. You're the moderator captain. Hey, people, come on, man. 150 likes. Hit up the like, man. What kind of disrespect is that? Please hit up the like. Please also make sure you're there for the next stream as well. Everything you need is in the pin tweet, people. You know, big up Beaks Corner. Thank you very much. Kante work rate. We're gonna start calling it a party work rate thing to get it. You know, big up Jamie. I'll always endeavor to stay true to myself and never let myself down. And you know, obviously, I hope to be successful, but I always remain the same sort of thing. And I know a lot of you have been rocking with man from the jump. You know, big up yourself, Wayne. You know, I think you've been here from what day? Some of you have been here since, you know, 550 subscribers, and it's crazy how it's 28, man. So let's see where we're going. That's already there. There is an emoji for that, you know. You've got to be a member, so check out the membership page, you know. There's bronze, there's silver, there's gold. There is the people emoji. We got a bag of things like that there, man. Bag of things like that. Like the thing, like you said, man. We freestyle the thing. We're not Madrid, and I know you know we're not Madrid, but we freestyle the thing. We freestyle it. We freestyle it, man. When we stop freestyling it and we do things differently, you'll see better things happen, man. Big up yourself, Sean. I hope you're doing well also. I wouldn't even say Eddie and Ketty is relied on because you know, it's just him or Laka. I don't think anyone relies on him, man. He still remains a huge prospect. He's just not maybe of the level to play consistent Premier League football, which is why I would have liked to have seen him loaned out quickly, because then we'd say, all right, cool, there's a plan. But now we're like, okay, cool, you might not think he's ready, but what's the plan? You've starved him of football. And, you know, even if you don't think a man's ready, he could definitely have played in these 3 Europa League games. Come on, man. Bear man are winging it, in my opinion, man. He can't say he's not playing well. He can't say he's not playing well because he hasn't played. So that one there doesn't make sense. All he needs to say is, I think he needs to be patient. I don't think he's quite ready for consistent football. As harsh as football is, you have to call a spade a spade. I mean, there's plenty of players in the squad that Arteta is using that he didn't necessarily sign, and I don't think that's a thing really and truly. If it was somebody else, but you know, Saliba is someone he's probably briefed on. He's got no choice but to use him. So big gunner, big up yourself. Not quite sure I agree with that trail of thought, but you know, everyone's allowed to think differently. And big up everybody locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. You know, Austin believes it's a terrible decision. I don't think it's. I just think the terrible decision is you've starved the man of football. That's it. You know, that's it. Crazy people, man. And I know a lot of you aren't happy as well, man. Big up yourself. All eyes on me, future moderator. A lot of you will become moderators for the next live stream, so make sure you're actually there. 455 people. Please hit the reminders. Please hit the like buttons. I saw 30 odd likes, so I'm liking how you guys are coming. Please abuse that like button, slap that reminder, check out the YouTube memberships. Make sure you've hit your reminders for my future vids as well. We've got a live stream every day, and we might even get more random ones like this. I had no plans of doing this, people, but I was reading it. I was like, I don't really want to talk about it in my next live stream. Let me not be lazy. Let me do this thing, you know. And to be fair, I've seen him play for the under-23s, and he's played quite well, but there has been moments he's struggled. I do think physically there's a bit of growing to be done. I think positionally, off the ball, there's a lot. I think at times he plays quite a confident pass, but at times he's got to know when to do that. But, I mean, how many people expected this 19-year-old probably turning 20 to be the finished article? He's not, you know, he's not, you know. De Ligt isn't the finished article. He's done very well at Ajax. He's doing very well now at Juventus, but he had some initial struggles, and he's going to struggle generally in the future. You look at Varane. Varane's probably having a tough time now, but I remember, if you go back, is it 2010 World Cup? Bullied at set pieces by Hummels, physically got bullied, and then he really developed after that. I think that thing there scarred him, really. You know, and we've always, obviously, you don't have to wait till you're old to be a competent centre half, but I do honestly believe, you know, centre half start maturing later. You know, I want to see what Saliba looks like at 25, 26. So there is no panic, there is no rush and whatnot, people. Thank you very much for your praise. It's Thanksgiving, you know me. I'm in the UK. Thanksgiving ain't really a thing, but thank you for that, Abraham. You know, happy Thanksgiving to you lot. Eat them turkeys for me. Everyone in America, and if Canada do it as well, and if you're just doing up Thanksgiving anyways, you know, big up yourself, all the Thanksgiving tugs. Make sure you spend that with your family. You drink some nice food. I mean, you drink some nice juice. You eat a nice food, and you just have a good time. You know, do your thing. Like M said, push them likes to 200. Come on, man. Come on. There's 250 people. Run up the likes. Hit the like button on your way in. It doesn't cost a thing. I echo everything you're saying, man. I'm really excited to see Amari Hutchinson, and he's got the attitude as well as the ability to go very far. What has Kofi said? I see you, Who Izzy, and Gooner talk with the future sports show that will get large bids from media companies for the rights. Hopefully, man, DG needs a sponsorship or needs some rights. I need some bands, man. You know, I am pursuing my goal. I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to do this thing. It can be quite daunting being self-employed and self-reliant. You definitely have some sleepless nights, but I signed up for this. That's it, man. Don't just sit around waiting for what? Getting literally no minutes. That's all that's gonna matter. You can train as much as you can train, and you know, I hear adapting. You know, I could understand if he played the occasional game, but he's played nothing. So is what it is, man. I think Holding's a calm squad player. I do agree. Fans do a bit hot and cold with him. I think Holding's a calm squad player. Fair play, to be fair. That's just me, though. Big up yourself, Anas. Happy birthday to you. Big up yourself. Make sure you enjoy your birthday with what you can do, my guy. Sip a decent little juice and chill off, man. Big up yourself, man. You're spending your birthday listening to DG. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. I'm still going with Arteta, man, but you know, it sounds stupid right now. Lampard's excelling more. You know, man weren't saying that. If you asked that when we won the FA Cup and coming into this season, it probably would have been different. But for me, I'm going with Arteta. But I rate Lampard highly. I think Lampard gets a bad rep. You know, I do think there are obviously obvious question marks as a manager, but I like Lampard, man. I want Lampard to do well. Not too well because he's a Chelsea fan, but I mean Chelsea player, but manager. But nah, man. I'm going to go with Arteta because I would have said that a few months ago. But right now, you can't not go with Lampard. He's ahead of the table. It looks like he has bought players and there's a clear system to what Lampard is trying to do. They're excelling more than us. His blueprint is there. Arteta has been here for 10 months and he has done some good, but there is still some issues. People deluded, as Dermot says. You know, speaking of Chelsea, Ollie, make sure you're subscribed. Best Arsenal fan I've heard coming from a Chelsea fan. I mean, come on, man. I'm just here for decent football. There are some good Arsenal fans, and the bulk of them are here in my comments and watching this video, man. I wouldn't say it's totally wrong because we don't know everything in this. I just think it's been badly handled. If more information is presented, I'm looking at it separately. But for the sake of, like you said, young man is starved of football. And we knew he was starved of football from last season. So we knew it was absolutely vital that this man is given football. His season was cut short last year. You know, he is inexperienced as a player anyways, you know. This is why I tell fans to be careful because you just look at the numbers. Give me a second, at people, as I'm there. He's also been linked with Norwich, which isn't the worst of things, you know. Ben Godfrey left. We could get some game time there, you know. If you could you give us a could we give you Saliba on loan and Cantwell for a cut price fee? Could that one there be done, people? Would you lot be on that? Would you lot take Todd Cantwell? Obviously, I don't think he's of the level to affect the game like that too tough, but you get it. You know, in relation to Saliba, he's played 4 times for the reserves. He's played, well, 5 times for our reserves, more or less. He's only played 36 times for Saint Etienne, and he's only made 28 appearances in Liga. This is an extremely inexperienced guy. That's why I'm saying fans need to be careful. That's where, like I said, I would have liked to have seen him blooded occasionally, but I understand if he's not being thrown at the deep end per se. That being said, minutes are currency. I would have liked him to either played here or played elsewhere. Because if he played against Aston Villa, he would have learned from Ollie Watkins. If he played against Leicester, he would have seen why you can't take your eye off Jamie Vardy, where someone like Mustafi's done that 2 years in a row now. Do you get it? Do you get it, people? If he played against Liverpool, he would have learned something. City would have learned something. Do you get it? Any sort of minute. So I agree with you, but it's a difficult one, man. I'm not too sure for groups. I'd say centre midfielders are what we need at this moment. Actual good centre mids. I think if you play games, you know, because you have to thrive, you know, there's good and bad moments at every club, you know, there's always uncertainty. Of course, we haven't got too many experienced players like you saw with Joe Willock. I think he played poor in the last game, but he was hung out to dry, you know, and you look into your left, you look into your right, left and right, making sure I know them. You're seeing your most experienced players in the team do stupidness. So it would have probably been unhelpful. You know, if it didn't work for Gabriel, we would be highlighting the fact that Gabriel is 22 and a bit more experienced than Saliba, but inexperienced. So it's sink or swim, and that's always going to happen. And I think Saliba's mentality means he would have had some rough moments and some good moments, but it would have been all right. Of course, it's not ideal because, you know, it is quite toxic in a sense of we don't really see a direction. There's question marks over players. No one's performing. You know, obviously right now it's not the best, but people thrive, you know. People don't, you know, diamonds are not made without pressure, and that goes for footballers and us. That doesn't mean I want him in bad moments, but yeah, man. Bro, that's what I'm saying. You know, Fofana's getting games. He had a bad game against Liverpool. He played good in others. He's learning. There's only so much training and all of these things you can do without being thrown in at the deep end. Then we're going to complain when we find ourselves we're in a position like with Holding previously and Mavropanos, when they finally get that opportunity and they look good in some games and they look like a duck out of water. And then we're still talking about the same things we're talking about when we initially signed them. It's a Mazzoline, man. And that's what I agree with. It's unfair to rely on one. We need a sort of bridge player. And I hope, I don't, listen, if you was watching Brazilian League, you know your thing, innit? But for me, I don't know Pablo Mari's true level. I've seen him play at home once, a couple times. I've seen him play against City. He looks like he struggles with pace. But the fact that he's 26, can he be that bridge player? Can he be that one? So when David Luiz calls it a day next season, hopefully, we can go with a Saliba or a Gabriel, or what I would have hoped to happen this year, so that we can save Saliba, we can save Gabriel, sort of thing, rather than I back them two young centre-halves to do their thing. But as you lot know, when you got a young team, there's naivety. You look at Norwich last year, you know, they had Max Aarons, Jamal Lewis, Ben Godfrey, you know, they had a good defence, but they were very young and naive, and you saw that at times, you know. So you've also got to remember there's, you know, fatigue and games played and injuries. You need a squad. I genuinely feel Arteta's gone, do you know what? I'm going to use David Luiz. Gabriel's my guy. At a push, Jacques and El Nene have previously played in this position. We've got Chambers and Marie coming back from injury. We've still got Holding. He probably thought he had enough numbers, but he still wanted to run the rule over Saliba. And that's why I'm concerned. Because of the sheer numbers of centre-halves on the books, why didn't we move him on quicker? Maybe, like I said at the start, I think that's the reason as to why potentially we didn't see that, because we're waiting to see what other people's futures are going to, what other people's futures are saying before we move him on. Like potentially if you know, if you moved off Mustafi, you know, there was talk of David Luiz leaving, you remember, towards the end of last season, or even the start of this one. If these lot left, things would have changed, people, potentially. I don't know, I'm just stating that. I would still take Upamecano, but similar to Aouar, I have to wonder how much did it affect them, the constant speculation over their futures, because they were both doing bad boy stuff last season. You know, you saw Upamecano in the Champions League. I won't say Aouar set the world alight, because Lyon collectively didn't do that well, but he was doing his thing here and there, hot and cold as usual. But they've really started poorly, and I think maybe potentially, again, you'd have to ask a Leipzig or a Lyon fan that knows more about it, but maybe their futures have been hurt by speculation. It's almost like Thomas Lemar. He didn't have the best of seasons after being linked with Arsenal. Maybe we do that to Donnies. Who knows, man? Who knows? Please don't spam people. I will get through. Please get through. Please. Thank you. Thank you. This is why I thingied. Apologies. I moderators, I beg you, bring up the super chats. Honestly, you lot I rate you lot that you lot are typing in and going crazy and interacting with me, but you have to allow me. I'm one guy. The moderator's got to help me. I apologize for missing any super chats. I'm gonna pre them now. We've got another one, you know. And maybe, you know, maybe it's one of those things. And like I said, it's just down to Arteta to prove everybody wrong and whatnot, people, you know. The thing with Allegri, I think, you know, Poch is of the same sort of ilk of Arteta in that, yeah, I'm not saying he's inexperienced, but I think Poch is, like you saw at Spurs, he's more likely to work under these issues and whatnot and not being able to spend peas. Like, I never saw Pochettino have a window like Jose Mourinho. Like, Jose can't complain, you know, maybe of the players' abilities, but they needed a centre-half. They got it. Striker, they got it. Midfielder, they got it, you know. Even a backup keeper like Joe Hart, every area they addressed that. I can't remember too many times them saying that. Like, they never got a Bale. You know, how many times with Poch at Spurs were we saying, you know what, if they add on to Kane and Son, and at the time Dele Alli was banging, what could they do, sort of thing? He never had that. Allegri, Carlo Ancelotti and Luis Enrique, like we were saying last time, people, these man, when the phone rings, they'll listen to Arsenal. It's Arsenal, you know, they'll listen. But when you get down to the nuts and bolts, how much peas have I got to spend looking at this squad? They're like, F that. Like, why am I going to hurt my reputation for a team that's not going to even meet man halfway, you know? Allegri can't be going from trying to win Champions League to asking, can he get 40 million to try and get Partey? You know, he's been at a club where they understand you do certain things to push. You know, Carlo Ancelotti, he's been around, he's done it at everywhere he's been. He's not trying to hear in his grand old age, getting on a bit that you can't give me P. I have to do this and that. Safe. I'll rather go Everton, where when I'm asking for something, it's done. You know, none of them elite managers want to come, sort of thing, because of what they have to work under. As simple as that. Apologies for missing out your super chat. I think somebody else said I missed out a super chat, and where they are. Apologies. Should Saliba Saliba should play the next game, should play next to Gabriel. Should play next to GM, and they could grow. Yeah, they could. But fans need to be, like, I'm sure you understand, but there'll be moments, you know, one would probably have to be taken out the team because they'd probably struggle a bit, sort of thing. But I agree, we've got to make them fail. We've got to make them fail fast. Not that we want them to fail in that. We need to throw them in against Vardy and all of these players, or in consistent environments where they play in that, where they can thrive. You know, everybody talks about, you know, when Saliba was looking good on the ball for Saint Etienne and doing them nice passes. No one was talking about the Mets game. If it is still available, please go and watch. I don't even remember the score, but go and watch Mets, because Diallo showed him something. Diallo showed, and it's them sort of lessons he has to learn, you know. The best centre halves are the most streetwise. How are you going to get streetwise? Experience, man. And that's the thing as well, Terry. Like, not one single player is going to change our thing. Not one player is going to change our thing. Big up yourself, Reeks. Big up everyone that allowed me to get to 28k subscribers. It means a lot. 28,000 of you are subscribed to me. Little old me in my room with a shoddy little green screen with not the best graphics and whatnot. This means a lot, man. It might not be the biggest, but it might as well be 28 million. I genuinely mean that, people. Please hit the like button. Please make sure you've hit the reminder for the 4:55 live stream as well. We'll be covering Molde versus Arsenal. Please get into the live chat there early, and also make sure you're commenting some subjects you want me to talk on in the build up to that game. Obviously, I don't like to talk about a man's personal life, my guy, and, you know, be wary of that. But obviously, it must have played some part. But to a degree, as harsh as it sounds, the world keeps spinning, you know, and also it can be difficult to carry on with life when something like that happens, and I sympathize. But at the same time, we all know, or I don't know if you all know, but for me personally, football has been a refuge when things ain't been going right in my life, where, you know, all sorts of stuff, you know, football is for that 190 minutes or training session. I don't feel the problems of life. I'm just focused on my team. I feel a bit of joy, sort of thing. Do you get it, people? So there's also that. We've got another super chat, George's opinions. He was also a member. Big up yourself, George. Nigerian down there in Washington, D.C. Big up yourself. I'd love to go to Washington one day, you know. Take a picture outside the White House for me, or you've probably been asked that a million times. But we need to get so many wages off the books. We do, brother. We do. You know, Mustafi, Luis, Socrates, you know, Mesut Ozil, they need to be moved on. And there's obviously some 2022 contracts like Kolasinac. But then for me, I'm not going to say it's one step forward and 10 steps back, because that's more names than the name I'm about to say. But then you've given Willian a 3-year deal. You know, you've signed Cedric Suarez off the back of what, being injured. I like Marie, but I haven't seen too much from Marie. We all knew that was going to become permanent. But why did you sign Marie? You know, another injured one. You know, I'm not saying he's on big wages, but you get the point. So it's not making sense. It's not making. You never get clarity. You know, you never get clarity, man. Big up Samuel. Samuel is here when I had 10 subs. You've been here from the jump, man. You know, when I blow, I'm gonna get a lot. I'm gonna, you know, do some giveaways and boss you lot with a couple of stuff, man. Because some of you have been here from the jump. People are free to dislike, man. People are free to dislike. They could do their thing, man. But we keep moving. The ones that do like is what it is. It's just a case of we need to defeat them, innit? We need more likes than dislikes. They're gonna dislike the thing. We keep moving, people. It is what it is. Probably just don't like, man. Today's mission, 250 likes. I mean, assist. Big up the members. Sky Tour again. Another one who's on job. All of you are gonna. Everyone yesterday that was in there, you're gonna get the moderator status in time for the game tomorrow. Well, later, or I hope so. Anyways, if there is time, I'm gonna make you lot moderators, man. I'm gonna make you lot moderators. Come on, smash the likes like Arsenal will smash Molde. Not too sure about the second part, but let's see what go on. 166 likes. You man are violating, man. You know. You're on Twitch as well, your preferred platform. Make sure you're following up the Twitch. You not know me. I'm only one person. It is difficult to do everything you lot want me to do. And the rest of it, people. But at the same time, if that's what you want, that's what you'll get. So hit up the Twitch, Football Manager content, and all of these things will obviously happen in the future. And you know, you'll get live streams and the rest of it. So hit up this Twitch. Please make sure you're subscribed to it and whatnot, man. I need to hit like 2,000 or something on Twitch, and you know, we can start playing around and earn a little change off it, which can be put back into this. We've got another member. Big up Ush. And I really appreciate you. I really appreciate her. She's a member. You know, she's a very nice woman as well from Canada. She you might not realize it, but there's been some comments that you sent me and it's kept me going. I've been very upset. You know, I think there's no hope, but your little messages have kept me going, and you've also obviously donated several times. So from the bottom of my heart, I hope you're well. And you're another person that when I am in a position, I genuinely want to I can never repay you lot for the motivation you lot give me and the things you do, but I'd love to do something, man, because it really warms my heart, people. Honestly, there's so many different countries in this live chat. There's so many different people from everywhere that follow me. It's ridiculous, man. And we're all here through our love of football. Big up, hey, big up yourself. Hopefully we can get there, man. We can get there, man. You know, it's something. Like you said, it's something, man. What else you lot got to say? We've got an irrelevant question from Saliba, but big up DG, keep going. Can France win the next World Cup or two? I don't know for two, that's 8 years, but you'd imagine there's a big chance France can win the Euros and retain the World Cup. Again, ifs and buts. You know, you'd imagine I hope the English are there, because we've got some bad boy footballers coming up. You know, you're seeing the young ones around. You know, I'm hoping Curtis Jones, Angel Gomez, Marcus Edwards, Noni Madueke, Jamal Musiala, Yunus Musa, Tariq Lamptey off the top of my head. I'm hoping these guys are able to push the boat further and help us do something in that regards. But you look at it, you know, Germany got smacked 6-0, but let's be real, Germans will probably be in and around or sniffing. I can't look past France right now. Who else is doing well, man? Who else is doing well at international level? I'm missing out a couple countries that are actually performing well, but I can't look. Spain are doing all right. I can't personally look past France personally, people. God, they're just bullying it. Obviously, what's Portugal are doing all right. What actually happens and what we say happens and what actually happens is two different things. So we'll have to see, people. When is it time to let go of the likes of Willock and Eddie and let other young players break through? Well, I think the ones below them, they're coming, man. Like Miguel Aziz, Balik and Ben Cottrell, they're coming. Trust me, they're coming. But we need to be careful right now. They're still, you know, we need to be careful. I think in the next season or two, you know, Joe Willock, you know, he's lost his place in the England under 21 side. He's contracted until 2023. Within the next 18 months, he's got to show something, really, or be sold. Eddie Nketiah has been signed until 2022, I believe. I think we should give him a new deal to protect our resale value. And I think he can break through and be a squad player. And I don't have that much high expectations of Eddie. I think he's a decent player. I think he can be a squad player. But you also have to, like Wenger famously said, you have to be careful that some players will surprise you. They will surprise you. And also, like, I think Eddie can be a calm player, but I don't think he's going to be like the Saka level, the Greenwood level, the Foden level. That don't mean you're a bad player. But when I see Alan Shearer, when I see Michael Owen, when I see our guy, Uncle Ian Wright, speaking about Eddie Nketiah, you know, them man there between them got how much professional experience, you know, how much striking experience, have all, you know, accomplished great things. If they're saying, yo, this man is moving, even Kevin Campbell as well, quite obviously not at their level, but Kevin Campbell, if these men are saying something and they earned their livelihoods in football and played in that position, then there must be something in this guy. Minutes are currency, and maybe Eddie needs to ask himself, can he get more game time elsewhere? He has to ask himself. Obviously, I'd say when you exclude, what was I going to say? When you exclude Martinelli to a degree, Bukayo Saka, out of all the young players, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Joe, and him, Joe's been given the most chances, but you have to say Eddie's elevated himself because at least he's being a rotation option / keeping Lacazette out the team. Fair enough, Lacazette's underperforming, but that's nothing to do with Eddie. Nelson isn't keeping Willock or Pepe out the squad. We're hoping he takes the chances that are coming. You know, Joe Willock isn't keeping any midfielders out the squad. Smith Rowe isn't keeping anyone out the squad. We're not saying they're not talented, but they're not keeping people out the team. You know, Saka and Eddie right now are the only two people that, you know, in my opinion, if you're looking at the game for Wolves, are the only ones with a realistic chance of starting. Joe Willock maybe, but he didn't cover himself with glory because he was part of a poor collective team performance. I do think you can't just give a man one chance and then done, but it is what it is. Big up Xander, you know, big up the members, big up Subi, you know, each and every time, man. Let's get the likes up, people. 15 more likes until 200. Come on, people, man. Little violating. Me scroll down. You know, all Arsenal have to do is justify it to not be a disgrace, people, is what I'd have to say. You know, I don't understand why we're doing it, but it is what it is, man. I wouldn't agree with we never needed Saliba, and I like Daniel Ballard, but I think you're being a bit difficult there, my guy, because Ballard is not of the level of Saliba. Ballard, you know, his first loan spell started off good with Swindon and he got injured, and we don't know Ballard's true level. He's done well for Blackpool since he's gone there, but I don't think that one there makes sense, my guy, but I respect your opinion. I disagree, however, you know, Arsenal did need a centre-half. We did need Gabriel and Saliba for the future. We did need players that carry the resale value. Those are facts. We did need him. And even if we didn't need him, the chance to sign someone for 27 million and whatnot, for someone that's got potential, it's a no-brainer, especially if we need to be self-financing and the rest of it, man. I'm very keen to see Martinelli back, my guy. Bro, it's Martinelli. I'm keen to see how Arteta will use him, because I could be wrong, bro, but I swear when he first got a breakthrough, or not a breakthrough, Arteta first came into the club, he weren't really using Martinelli too tough like that, really. I swear it was Longberg that really set him off like that. I know he's playing in the Europa under Unai Emery, and he made his debut under Emery, but wasn't the hat-trick... I'm gassing about hat-trick. That's Alexis Sanchez. I think he can be a future Alexis Sanchez. But I'm sure against West Ham, Martinelli started and he played well, and he kind of took off from there, really take off from there in terms of the league. I could be wrong. I beg someone in the comments pattern me up if I'm chatting nonsense, please, or tell me I'm on the right thing, but I'm phrasing it wrong. Big up yourself, Christopher. Dean, I agree. Saliba has my full support. He just wants to go and get game time. If you're not going to get game time here, what's the point? You know, sitting and playing, you know, we hear Arteta does mad video analysis and individual analysis and how he, and in fact, that's one thing, you know, I know they're attacking players, but we heard how Arteta worked very well with Saliba. I mean, with Sane and with Raheem Sterling on an individual basis. Why is that not being done for Saliba to get him to the level where he could play? And if it is being done, I hold my hands up. But we heard that, you know, why hasn't he told someone exactly what he wants to see from Saliba, and deployed someone like Carlos, the Carlos guy who I told you is an individual, does the individual stuff, you know? So it just screams freestyling, you know, whether he's your player or not. There's several players that weren't his players that are playing, you know. He didn't know Saliba. I mean, he didn't know Saka from nowhere, you know. Of course, you have to know Saka because of what he was doing, but you don't know Saka from nowhere. Why did he suddenly want to use Maitland-Niles and then not use him? None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. That's it as well, man. Fans would turn on the Donny, you know. Fans will gas it. I'd say Saliba, until he makes that honest mistake. I'm not saying don't hold a man accountable if he makes a mistake, but they'll draw him out. The same way everyone's going, oh, Balogun, he's got to play Balogun. You play him, he doesn't do well. Man are going to get onto him. You see it happen with Nelson. You see it happen with Joe. Eventually, it will happen with Saka and Martinelli. It's happened with Chelsea and Callum Hudson-Odoi. It will happen with Curtis Jones at Liverpool. There's that honeymoon. It will happen with Phil Foden eventually. There's every one of these young players, whether they're sourced from abroad or sort of homegrown, they go through this moment, they can do no wrong. I call it the honeymoon period. I said it with Arteta as well, but back to this, it's the honeymoon period. You can do no wrong. Everybody loves you. Then there comes a point where the feelings are out of the window and it's just free for all. It's just free for all. It's just free for all. Simple as that. It's crazy. Like Marcus said, like the video and push it out there for more people to see. Like how you lot all came across DG once upon a time. There's a next person that needs to be part of our DG community, people. So let's not deny them that right. Let's not deny them that. Let's get them in here, people. It's as simple as that. Please make sure you hit the like button. It doesn't cost a thing. You know how you can't like the button, press the like button. I don't understand either, my guy, man. Bro, Papaya, comment one of the comments of the live stream. You know. It's reactive. It's reactive. If you can't, you know, if we're spending so much time trying to get party an hour so we don't have time, you know, delegate that to someone who can, you know, where's the delegation sort of thing? We've tried to do too much. We've tried to do too and done little. We heard our club is doing this thing of self-financing and we're getting rid of people so we have less people with more responsibilities. Utilize the team you have, you know, spread out the workload. You know, do we trust people with what we did? You know, it's what it is. Bit of a different question. Jay Walker said, what's the long-term goal? Is it to become a coach, pundit, or carry on doing the content thing? Why can't I do it all? Whatever comes first, man. If someone wants to bust me on this agent thing, someone wants to bust me on this broadcasting thing, someone wants to bust me on being a coach, a pundit, you know, an agent, a manager, anything, man. I always sit down and ask myself this question. I'm on anything, man. I'm on anything. I guess you have to define yourself. It's like a young footballer where they can play out wide, cam and everything. Eventually, they have to settle down for one role. I'd love to be a coach. I love to talk about football, so a pundit would be cool. And I'm always going to carry on my content, even if I get established by a club or signed by a club. And obviously, I wouldn't be able to, like Arsenal signed me, I wouldn't be able to talk as freely about certain players as I could, but you'd still get content. You know, I started YouTube as a form of getting out there to try and secure these roles. But I like it, man. And I feel away from just that reason, it's a bit of therapy. I'm not talking therapy for when Arsenal lose. I just feel it's good to chat, man. And and for me, like I've met a lot of you, but I haven't met a lot. I haven't met. There's a lot of you that live in other countries for obvious reasons I haven't met. But I feel like we're part of something, man. It feels like man's like we're together in this thing. Like, you know, it really like it's a community thing. I can't make it make sense. And for me, I love the comments. You know, even the trolls talk comments, but I love the comments that agree, people that disagree, people that give me different like ways of thinking. Because some of you lot, even throughout this, some of you lot's comments have been like, oh yeah, I used to think that, but my man or my girl said a good point. So yeah, man, I'm gonna, because that's what I'm on. I'm not like most football fans where I said this in June, so I've got to believe it in December. You know, I don't want to die on no hills. I'm willing to, if new information or evidence is presented in front of me, I'll change. I have no problem changing what I believe, sort of thing, people. I don't feel the squad has anything, you know, I can't imagine, you know, it looks like Saliba's become the sort of younger brother and taking the place of Guendouzi to a degree with the rest of the French players. And Ozil's a valued member of the team. He might not be playing. Look how the players talk on him. I don't think either are disruptive players. They've just got things, noise around why they're not playing and just noise, man. Pardon me. Bro, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I would like Nagusman. I'd try for him. I wasn't really on the Brendan Rodgers one, and I'm not saying I'll be on Brendan Rodgers, but I'll consider it. Of course, I would love Allegri. I love these established managers. I'd love to just say, Carlo, forget the Everton thing, come here, sort of thing. But the thing with it's easy for me to sit here and say this and that. We all know what shags Arsenal is, the finances. Like I said, most of these managers will probably answer the phone when it gets down to the nuts and bolts about the position. They start having cold feet and whatnot. He does. But regardless of the money you have, and again, I guess it does help because it brings in players. You should be able to instill a way of playing. When Arteta came, I was saying, and you lot were saying, you know, what we didn't see was an idea with Arteta. I mean, with Emery. Immediately when Arteta initially came in, you saw pattern defensive thing. You saw us moving the ball a bit forward, and it became a thing for me. I was looking at it, cool. Arteta's the guy. Once he gets a bit more better ingredients, he'll cook a better dish for us. Now I'm like, Rob, boy, maybe the food you gave me, maybe your mum cooked it and you was heating it up and pretending. Rob, boy, what's going on? I'm questioning the chef. This ain't the same chef that made my curry goat and rice again. What's this? Tasting like oxtails, bookie. Like, what kind of seasoning is this? It's a bit dodgy. You get it? Big up yourselves, man. Big up yourselves, man. Come on, come on, hit the like button. It doesn't cost a thing, man. Show us some love, man. For me, the cloak and dagger side of football, not explaining their reasons, causes this confusion. That's it. It does. Now, a football club can never tell you everything, but, you know, if you just told us a bit, things might change. Thoughts on Jose Mourinho, bad boy manager. It's a shame he manages them, you know. He's in a nice way. He's a troll and he's part of Spurs, so it's problems for Arsenal, you know. When you mention Jose, you mention winning, you know. Jose's a good manager. He's managing Spurs very well at the moment. Hopefully that isn't going to be said by me come May, but you know, is what it is. And wherever he goes, he grabs a trophy. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen, man. There's not any rudeness. All right, thank you. I see in timeout. Please, no bickering in the chat, people. Respect everyone's thingy. And that's it. He got it with a transfer ban. But let's be real, that Chelsea squad was better than Arsenal's. But again, I agree. You know, you have to show a way of playing. Leicester bottled it and it helps United and City. I mean, Chelsea and United. But that's what I'm saying. Fully. You know, Lampard's got money, but you know the way he wanted to play from the jump. I like him a lot. As you said, he's a left back. Apparently, Arsenal have said they want to be kept up to date with developments. He's a very decent player, man. He's good technically, can go forward. I like him a lot from what I've seen, man. And that's it, man. Go back to France. But first and foremost, feel important again because you're going to play football and play for a team that's going to play you, you know. Forget about Arsenal, you know. Arsenal, we'll talk about it in May or when the season ends. But right now, just focused on playing games, you know. Just focus on playing games. That's what he needs because he is starving of football, as I explained to you earlier. When you just look at the sheer games the man has played, people 36 times for Saint Etienne, 28 times in the league for Saint Etienne. You know, there's 38 games in the season. He's played 36 times for Saint Etienne. Fans need to, while I agree with fans wanting him to play and whatnot, we need to apply balance. Big up yourself, Alex, man. Big up yourself, Alex. You're in Australia. You've put in a shift, man. When I started this, it was 2 a.m. Go to bed, bro. Go to bed. We're going to be here. We're going to be here, man. I know you're late. Big up yourself. We've talked about Saliba, or we was kind of speaking about him now. Just scroll back to the start and it will be there for you. Listen, fans are important are allowed to believe what they believe. I think both are two talented players, and it is what it is. In that regard, it really is what it is. Can we trust Arteta's judgment? He's a manager, so it's not that I trust or not trust. I don't know, man. Time will tell, I guess. Toby, we'll talk about Wolves soon. Against Molde, I want to see a 5-0 victory. I can't. I want to see a riot just for the fans. It would feel good. It would feel a lot good. You know, I'm gonna. You know me. I don't go for wild stuff. I'm gonna say 5-1 Arsenal today. For Wolves, make sure you're at my stream tomorrow. We'll be speaking about Wolves. I'll be speaking with a Wolves fan on my channel from 1 p.m. Make sure you're aware of the YouTube community tab. Cheeky plug in a second, people. I'll actually bring up everything for you. Look, I talked about the streams. I talked about the memberships on a little cheeky plug thing. Being a nice guy that I am. Actually, if it will let me, just posted it into the comment section. There you have it, people, you know. And it's made it look kalam, but you know, just if you can, I swear you can click these messages. It's got every link. Every link is there. You know, that's for the Twitch one. All the links, you know, when we're with the Talking Wolves, when I'm doing my own Wolves one, you know, I even tried to put the days. Sunday, the watch along. Make sure you've hit the reminders across all of them, people. Make sure you slap the likes across all of them. Everyone's like is important. You know, don't be there saying my like don't make a difference. Every like helps this thing show up in other people's recommended videos and whatnot, and helps the brand grow. Help a guy, man. You see the work rate. That's all I want, you know. Let's be careful. I don't think he can be the next Mbappe. He's a Balogun, man. Let's just let him do his thing. International DG nations everywhere, man. You know, let's be careful. I don't think that's gonna be the case. Man said hire me, and you lot will be saying you don't know what you're doing. I'll see you lot saying, oh, I used to listen to Deluded on his videos, and I didn't think he would play this negative football. He's so true. You lot be onto me as well, man. You lot be onto, man. Almost, and I know a lot of you have been onto me. You lot have been onto me about the reading it. There's been some things going on and I'm a bit behind, but I will be finished soon, and I will do a video with my own opinions on it and things. But so far, like I said when I first touched on it, you know, Joe, you know, Wenger, apologies, was never gonna like hang anyone out to dry. He was gonna be a gentleman. So of course it's nice to learn about his life and the rest of it, but not really the juicy secrets and things that I expected to hear. You know, I wanted to hear some stories that I had a deal agreed for Mbappe. Stan Kroenke said no. You know, we're not going to see any of them. I wouldn't. While I think you can say this is a case of poor man management, I don't think the request necessarily means that. You know, simply put, the man needs to play football. He's someone that wants to play, doesn't want to sit on his hands. I really like Xavi Simons, assuming you're speaking about him. You know, he's got the hair to match. You know, he's one of these new age ballers. You can't have curly hair, be a central midfielder, and not be a baller. You've got him, you've got Webster, you've got Mosuengo, you've got Guendouzi, you've got Miguel Aziz, you've got Hannibal at United. If you've got curly hair and you're not a baller, somebody's failed. I don't know if your dad's taken you enough times in the back garden to play football, but somebody's failed. If you got curly hair, now in today's day and age, you've got to be a baller. I mean, he will want to come back, and if he doesn't, if he wants to leave, then AC Milan tried to buy him. We get our money back, I guess. But I think he will come back, man. It won't be a thing like that. Honest opinion of Pepe, out of 5, I'd give him out of 10, I'd give him a 5. I think there's a lot more to come. I think he has underwhelmed, but to a degree, it's what I expected. He only had one real standout season in France. I do think even with his mediocre numbers, he's been an improvement on us. But he's not one of the players I can rely upon. He goes through good bouts of form. I'm not saying he's not a good player, and I don't believe in him, but I don't think we can rely upon him because he's too hot and cold, and there's a lack of consistency there, like many players here, my guy. You know, if your name's not Tierney, not Gabriel, not Partey, not Saka, Gabriel Martinelli to a degree, Leno to a slight degree, Leno makes mistakes, but I'd throw him in there. And Aubameyang, who's not scoring at the moment, but, you know, we can't take away what he's given us. These sort of players, 9 times out of 10, whether, you know, they're not scoring or making mistakes, with the exceptions of Leno and Aubameyang, but thrown in. These are the only players I'd say if I was Arsenal manager, I'm betting my life on. Like, they're the ones that I think are going to save my job because the others are trying to make man lose the job. Do you get it? So it is what it is. All right, man. EG live streams. Make sure you're subscribed. You know, James, big up yourself. 5-0 would be nice. It would make us smile and give us a temporary sort of thing, man. I want a big dub today, man. Oh, James Cottrell is a baller. He can play football. His movement's good. He can play, and I want it. The only thing he's lacking is probably that little bit of physicality to play week in, week out. And I you know, I actually feel he could have a good future as a fullback as well, people. So yeah, man. Would you rather win no top four? Would you rather no top four with the FA Cup or top four with the FA Cup? Assuming you mean, I'd rather get top four than win the FA Cup. I know it's a trophy, but you know that less fans. Even though, you know, on the topic of it being a trophy and the fact that it is a trophy, yes, wholeheartedly agree. You can't pick a trophy over finishing fourth. I mean, finishing fourth over a trophy. You know, it doesn't make sense. But there would be less question marks of our season if we got top four. You know, we'd get more money to be able to spend and whatnot. So top four, man. People are gassing it, and they always do it. If you know, as much as I believe in Saliba and think fans are right, you would think that it's you would think it's a prime Cannavaro that won the Ballon d'Or. You would think Balogun is R9, and I'm not trying to belittle any of them players. Fans do have points, but they get a bit excited with what they're saying and stuff. You want to be a mod, Jay Woke? Let me add you to the list. Jay Woke wants to be a mod. He's added to the list. Right now, I think he'll probably see out his contract, but I do think the club are trying to move him on, and I do think it's quite damning that there's been no talk of a new deal. I did hear about this accident. Apparently, he crashed his car on the way to training in the wake of the Leeds game. So first and foremost, I hope his health's there, and I hope he's all right. I don't want to speculate on what happened, but I did hear, and you know, I hope he's all right and no one else has been affected, sort of thing. Big up Lee, you know, always saying positive stuff on my Instagram. Like he said, smash up the likes. Big up DG Nation. Smash the like button, people. Ollie, tell me what you said to put in the description, my guy. Apologies. It is in the description if you're talking about the live chats. It is in the description. But being a nice guy, I'll quickly go over and do that again, people. You know. Upcoming live streams. You know, I'll put that there, and I'll put this one below. There you lot have it, people. In fact, let me make some spaces just because I'm such a nice guy. It's in the descriptions for you lot, people. It's now in the description, but I'm also going to copy and paste this. Where is it, people? Apologies. Where's the tab? I'm losing the tab. I should really work on sharing screen with you guys. But here, look. There's that, people. There you go. Once again, did you mean that? If you meant the Twitch, I apologize. I'll go and get that again. There's another super chat. Hey, where is my moderators, man? Moderators, pattern up that for me, man. Mod me, DG, South London's finest. I think he was there yesterday, and I'll put you on the list. South London finest B. I'll do that all before the game. I'm not gonna lie, my guy. I prefer Tierney, but I'm a big fan of Chilwell. I think Chilwell gets a bad rep. People are been on to Chilwell. Not so much that he joined Chelsea, but more so with the Leicester days. I think Tierney's better 1v1 defensively, but I'd be cool with either one. You know, I would if I had Chilwell, I'd be screaming Tierney. I'd be Chilwell's over Tierney. If I had Tierney like I do, I'd be saying that. Front three for tonight. I hope it's a back four, and Emil Smith Rowe in that 10 position. I would like Balogun to start, but that's naive. I think it will be Lacazette, Pepe, and Reece Nelson. Would be it. Big up all the Americans doing up Thanksgiving. Big up yourselves, man. You know, happy Thanksgiving and all of those things. It must be a lie. It must be. There's a next super chat. My guy, I think I covered your super chat. I can't see it. Like, my moderators ain't trying to help, man. Like, come on, man. I want to go New York. I've never been New York. I need to come true. I'm going to hold you to that, my tug. You know, big up yourself, Lloyd, man. It means a lot. You're from Dagenham. Big up yourself, man. Means a lot. Thank you very much, man. It warms my heart because sometimes it gets long, man. It gets long. You think nobody gives a crap about this. And tonight, to know that one person out there and all of these things is, look, once they see the alert or see a video of mine, it makes their day. It warms my heart and it makes it all worth it, man. Bro, you got to ask him. I can't talk for an ex, man. Big up, who is he? But What kind of question is that, my brother? Right? Some funny boy question. I don't know them thing. Anyways, big up Daniel. You've been doing me dirty. You know, big up yourself for being here tomorrow, man. Bro, I'll never be famous. I'd rather be rich so then and do my thing. But regardless, how can I forget the people that put me in that decision, in that position? Apologies. You know, we deserve to be on Sky Sports. We deserve to be on BT. You know, we deserve to win awards. But it is what it is. The streets knowing it. They can't ignore the guy forever, in it. You know, cream rises to the top. Keep working hard. Keep working smart. See what we could do, man. Just stumbled across. G, good stream. Big up yourself, Charlie Adrian. Please make sure you hit the like button because you've been hooked now. Make sure that you stay. Callum Hudson-Odoi's got a very bad injury. Are you talking about previously or again? If he's got it again, I really sympathize with Callum Hudson-Odoi because he doesn't need that. I've got another member. Big up yourself, Connor, for becoming a member. Honest to God, it means the world. Thank you very much for doing that. And your first one as a new member. Boss needs to stick to the same 11. More chopping and changing, not good. City, Liverpool, and Yids barely change. And I think, you know, even with Liverpool winning the title last year, you can't underestimate keeping the squad. I do believe in rotation, but not rotation for the sakes of it. You know, Marcus is out here vexed at his moderators, patting up moderators. You got me carrying this team, moving like Aubameyang last season and moving like Saka right now. You know, he's been thinking he can't trust his teammates and that. Fix up people and help the guy, man, and help the guy. Let me see what else you lot are saying, because I need a little break before we go again at 4:55. I'm not a robot. I know I try harder. Bright House FC, bro, won this broke thing, bro. We're probably... I know we're only paying 5 million up front for Gabriel, but that 5 million is probably going to be paid and up until the point I get facial hair or sideburns, which you can see is not anytime coming. You know, might have to go Turkey and them thing there, seeing what Townsend's rocking with and how it's changed his futures. But on a serious note, let me see what you lot are saying, people. Big up the moderators, big up the subscribers, big up the followers of everything. Thank you very much for the people that have become members across this live stream. Thank you very much for the new subscribers and people I've now found along the way. You won't regret subscribing. Please make sure you've hit the like button. Please make sure you've hit the like button on the video that's coming at 4:55. I'll put it in the video. I'll put the video descriptions and all the rest of it in the chat. It's all in the description. It's all in the pinned tweet. You know, every day there's a live stream, and there might even be more accidental ones like this. I had no plans on doing this. Image rights. I didn't see that. I'm gonna type in Bale Ibrahimovic image rights. And to be fair with you, if I was a footballer, you know, I would want to care about my image rights, because how much money is FIFA making? You know, it probably sets a precedent. And I know with FIFA, they've probably got some guidelines where they can utilize what they want. But Juventus are not in the game because they've done their thing with, well, they are, but they're called something else. You know, Arsenal have done a deal with Pro. If I was these individual players, I would look to do something. You know, if you're not going to give me peace, you got to change my name or something, where it's got to be some mad name. You got to change Latin Ibrahimovic to like something else, people. It sets a precedent, because maybe all the top players are going to do that. And you're leaving money on the table, because at the end of the day, these are the reason man are buying FIFA, these top players and whatnot. And that's very good from you, Zanji. What an opinion, man. I wouldn't say he's the worst I've ever seen, but he's one of the biggest disappointments. Big up yourself, Adrian, for tuning in each and every time. I always recognize the ones that are there. It is a trophy these days, my guy, but I can't die with top four. If I'm a footballer and I retire and I've got my grandkids and I've got my dentures and they're asking me, oh, granddad, what was your playing future like? Did you win any trophies? No, Jamal, I didn't win the trophies, but I finished fourth. That's a dickhead thing to me. If I'm on my deathbed, I don't want to be like, I lived a good life, I finished fourth. I understand and I agree with you wholeheartedly, but it's a difficult one. Very difficult one. Very difficult one. Big up yourself, TW. Man said we're in talks. You kill me, man. Kill me. There's a video of Joe Willett. Boy, I ain't seen that. I'm gonna do my own research, and I'll hit you lot back up in the next stream with what I think of that, really and truly. Yeah. Jamal's the only name that was coming to my head, bro. Jamal's the only one. Man said I'm funny. Oh man, a lot of you just think I'm some boring monotone guy, and if you think that, fair play. I don't think I'm funny. If you think I made you laugh, I made you laugh, man. Bro, I think I answered your super chat, my guy. I swear, if you sent one, I did, bro. I did. Honest to God, I did. Let's send another one. I'll do my research. Big up yourself, Matt. You know already. Hit that rewind. Oh, I'm not too sure with that. It's true. It's true. It all depends what trophy. It all depends, man. It all depends. Jamal is, like I said, it's the only Dave that was coming to Duddy, man. Big up yourself, man. Well, you got to get paid, man. You got to get paid. Do what you need to do, man. Chelsea, man. Chelsea's youngsters are more ready, you know, when they with the exception of Callum Hudson-Odoi, you look at Tammy, you look at Mount, you look at Tomori, you know, Reece James, you know. I'm not talking about world-class ability because I think Saka could talk to all of them, but look how there's a plan. Look how they're prepared, you know. Them man, they're hitting the ground running. When they're going out on loan, there's proper sort of things going. So it is what it is, man. You know, big up yourself, Connor. It means a lot, man. You've made my day, that comment there, man. You made my day. 300 likes in the building. Come on, come on. You know, so let him go back there and let him remind Arteta. I want Saliba to go back there and then make people look stupid, you know, make Arteta and Arsenal look stupid. Why did you loan out this defender when them and they are doing this and that? Do you get it? That's what I want to see. Hit the like button, people. Predictions will be in the next live stream, my guy. 4:55. You know, Sky Sports do just pick clout and knowledge, you know. What was the content you did with Hugh Wizzy? I ain't seen it still. Go on Hugh Wizzy's channel, and I don't know if he's done another video, but it should be one of his latest where it's titled something like, can Arteta turn the job around? Or something in it. The latest one with Arteta in the picture and Hugh Wizzy, I'm there in it. Big up Hugh and all them things there. Because he didn't have to bust me, and I appreciate him busting me and whatnot, people. But listen, hear what I'm saying, people, man. All day long, DG, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. He's not like any of the Invincibles. Let's calm it down, man. Bro, trust me, I need to rest, man. So I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to get out of here. But people, you've seen the links in the descriptions. You've seen the pin tweets. I'm going to be back 4:55, people. Make sure you're there. But for now, DG's got to keep it kicking, people. I need a little rest. Need to drink a little bit of water. We're going to be back again. Trust me. But for now, DG. You know, if you're missing me, check out some other content. I'll be back again, people. 4:55. Make sure you're all there, please, people. Any questions you've got, I apologize for airing them. Come back with them in the next live stream. Smash the like button on the way out. I'm out.